Trump strikes softer tone, calls Xi highly respected amid rising tensions. Tech stocks fell sharply Friday after President Donald Trump said he was considering a massive increase in tariffs on Chinese products, responding to Beijing's tightened rare earth export rules that threaten the semiconductor and EV supply chains. Trump said he was to meet President Xi Jinping in 2 weeks at APEC, but now sees no reason to do so. He later confirmed plans to impose 100% tariffs on Chinese imports and introduce export controls on critical software starting November 1st. Beijing pushed back, warning it will not back down, calling the U.S. approach not the correct way to get along with China, urging the U.S. to pursue dialogue instead of escalation. "We do not want a tariff war, but we are not afraid of one," China's Commerce Ministry said. Trump later sought to calm markets, saying, "It will all be fine," calling Xi highly respected and writing that the U.S. wants to help China, not hurt it. Crypto markets rallied after Vice President J.D. Vance said Trump would take a reasonable approach to China talks. Betting markets reflected mixed sentiment. Kalshi pegged the probability of a Trump-Xi meeting at 79%, while Polymarket was at 62%.
Rocket Lab rallies to another record high on contract with Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency. Rocket Lab shares surged to another record high after announcing a new partnership with the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency. The company signed a direct contract for 2 dedicated Electron launches under JAXA's innovative satellite technology demonstration program. Both missions will lift off from Rocket Lab's Launch Complex 1 in New Zealand, with the first launch scheduled for December 2025 and the second in 2026.
China tightens customs checks on NVIDIA AI chips amid crackdown on U.S. tech imports. China has intensified customs checks on semiconductor imports, including NVIDIA's AI chips, according to the Financial Times. Customs officers are now scrutinizing all advanced chip shipments at major ports to curb smuggling and unauthorized imports. Initially, the checks focused on NVIDIA's China-specific models, the H20 and RTX Pro 6000D, after regulators ordered companies to cancel related purchases. However, the scope has since expanded to all high-end U.S. chips. Officials are also investigating whether importers previously filed false declarations. Earlier reports estimated that $1 billion worth of NVIDIA's top AI chips were smuggled and sold in China between May and July.
Target launches THC drink trial at 10 Minnesota stores. Target has entered the hemp-derived THC beverage market through a limited pilot program in Minnesota. The test run, confirmed by several participating beverage producers, includes at least a dozen brands offering drinks with up to 5 milligrams of THC per serving. The rollout spans 10 Target stores in the state, where the products are sold exclusively at liquor outlets with separate entrances for customers aged 21 and above.
U.S. and China clash over rare earths as both sides signal tougher trade stance. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said Washington is coordinating with allies, including India, to push back against China's new export controls on rare earth materials. "I expect we will get global support," Bessent said, adding, "We will not let these export restrictions and monitoring go on." Bessent noted substantial communication with Chinese officials over the weekend and said he's optimistic this can be de-escalated, though the U.S. is prepared to move more aggressively if China refuses talks. Reports indicate that President Trump may impose export controls on Boeing aircraft parts bound for China in retaliation. Beijing strongly rejected U.S. efforts to build an international coalition against its rare earth export controls, calling the policy a legitimate exercise of sovereign rights aligned with global trade rules. China's Commerce Ministry warned Washington against forming cliques and practicing economic coercion, vowing that China will not be swayed by threats. It also cautioned that if the U.S. retaliates, such as with export controls on Boeing parts, Beijing will take all necessary measures to defend its interests. Meanwhile, rare earth stocks have surged as traders bet on alternative suppliers amid rising tensions. Rocket Lab could challenge SpaceX sooner than expected, Morgan Stanley. Analyst Christine Liwag highlighted Rocket Lab's leadership in small launches and rapid progress toward medium-class rockets. Elevated interest in space and a scarcity of high-performing pure plays have helped support Rocket Lab's valuation, she noted. Rocket Lab today is the market's clear small launch leader, with a new medium-class launcher nearing entry into service at a time when supply of launch capacity is constrained, wrote Liwag. She highlighted that the company is leveraging leveraging its fast-growing space systems business to build its own constellation. Leewag added that as Rocket Lab continues to deliver on its end-to-end space strategy, the company's stock could emerge as a viable alternative to SpaceX. The company's strategy mirrors that of SpaceX, as it is scaling rocket capacity, pursuing booster reusability, and planning its own constellation. With frequent Electron launches and strong demand, the market is now taking valuation cues for Rocket Lab from SpaceX's implied valuation, which has soared from about $100 billion in 2021 to $400 billion today. Morgan Stanley set a price target of $68, expecting short-term cooling after Rocket Lab's 168% rally this year.
Broadcom soars on OpenAI deal for 10 gigawatts custom AI accelerators. Under the partnership, OpenAI will design the accelerators and systems, embedding insights from its frontier models directly into the hardware to unlock new levels of capability and intelligence. The racks will be built entirely with Broadcom's Ethernet and connectivity solutions and deployed across OpenAI's facilities and partner data centers. The rollout begins in 2026 and is expected to complete by 2029, marking a major expansion in AI infrastructure collaboration between the two companies. American Battery Tech soars after completing National Environmental Policy Act studies for Tonopah Lithium Project. American Battery Technology surged over 36% Monday and gained another 9% after hours after announcing it has completed all 21 required baseline studies and submitted the reports to the U.S. Bureau of Land Management for the review process in the development of its Tonopah Flats Lithium project in Nevada. The company said that after more than 2 years of efforts, this milestone marks the completion of all studies needed for the National Environmental Policy Act review process. American Battery Technology also submitted a comprehensive mine plan of operations, now under BLM review, and is preparing to release its pre-feasibility study as it moves into the next development phase.
Oracle to become first hyperscaler to deploy AMD's new MI450 AI accelerators. Oracle announced it will deploy 50,000 AMD Instinct MI450 GPUs starting in Q3 2026, making it the first hyperscaler to offer a publicly available AI supercluster powered by AMD hardware. The MI450 chips, AMD's first AI accelerators designed for rack-scale systems, can connect up to 72 GPUs as one unified compute unit, a setup crucial for large-scale AI model training and deployment.
OpenAI expands hardware ambitions with ARM CPU collaboration. OpenAI is reportedly teaming up with ARM Holdings to develop a CPU chip as part of its Broadcom-led AI chip project. The new CPU is designed to work alongside OpenAI's AI server chip, which is being co-designed with Broadcom. According to the report, ARM hopes OpenAI will adopt its CPU in combination with AI chips from NVIDIA and AMD, expanding the company's AI hardware ecosystem. Netflix to host Spotify's top video podcast starting 2026. Netflix has announced a partnership with Spotify to stream select video podcasts on its platform, starting in the US in early 2026, with plans to expand globally later. The collaboration will feature popular Spotify originals such as The Bill Simmons Podcast, The Zach Lowe Show, The McShay Show, The Rewatchables, and Conspiracy Theories.
Americans seek geopolitical arbitrage through second citizenship. Wealthy Americans are increasingly seeking golden visas, investment migration programs offering residence or citizenship abroad, to hedge against global and political risk. According to Henley & Partners, applications from U.S. nationals are 67% higher than the total for 2024, which itself rose 60% year-on-year. Americans now make up more applicants than the next 4 nationalities combined: Turkish, Indian, Chinese, and British. Henley's Dominic Volek explained, investors and wealthy American families are hedging against jurisdictional risk and leveraging differences across countries to optimize personal, financial, and lifestyle outcomes. For the first time in 2 decades, the U.S. passport has dropped out of the top 10 on the Henley Passport Index, now ranking 12th with visa-free access to 180 of 227 destinations, down from the number 1 spot in 2014.
American Battery Tech plunges after DOE cancels $57.7 million lithium grant. American Battery Technology plunged over 21% and fell another 19% after hours Wednesday, after revealing that the U.S. Department of Energy cancelled its $57.7 million grant for building a commercial-scale facility to produce battery cathode-grade lithium hydroxide. The company, which was to match the Department of Energy's funding, said about $52 million in reimbursable funds remained as of October October 9th. While appealing the termination, American Battery emphasized that it has already raised more than $52 million from public markets this year and plans to proceed with the project as scheduled. In April, the company also received a letter of interest from the U.S. Export-Import Bank for $900 million in financing to support its Nevada lithium mine and refinery project.
Apple takes aim at physical AI with tabletop robot and smart home hub. Apple is reportedly expanding its manufacturing operations in Vietnam to produce next-generation smart home devices, including a tabletop robot, signaling a major shift away from China's supply chain, despite facing 20% tariffs in some markets, according to Bloomberg. Partnering with China's BYD for assembly, testing, and packaging, Apple aims to build new AI-powered home devices, such as indoor security cameras and a smart display to serve as a central control hub for appliances. The upcoming tabletop robot, reportedly featuring a 9-inch display mounted on a motorized arm that moves autonomously to follow users or adjust viewing angles, could launch in 2027. This would mark Apple's first physically mobile device since its founding in 1976. Analysts say the innovation positions Apple to compete directly in the emerging physical AI space, alongside companies like Tesla. Morgan Stanley's Adam Jonas called Apple's move another moment in the journey of AI getting physical, adding, "The physical AI addressable market has the potential to exceed the size of global GDP $115 trillion by multiples."
Waymo to launch robotaxis in London in 2026. Waymo, Alphabet's autonomous driving unit, is set to launch its driverless ride-hailing service in London next year, its first in the region and second international market after Tokyo. The company will begin testing a small fleet with safety drivers across a 100-square-mile area in partnership with Uber-backed Move. Commercial service is expected after 2026, when the UK allows self-driving pilots. Unlike its US model where it partners with Uber and Lyft, Waymo will operate independently through its own app, putting it in direct competition with major ride-hailing players. Meanwhile, Uber and its partner Wave Technologies also aim to begin autonomous vehicle trials in London by 2026.
U.S. Army unveils Janus program to deploy nuclear microreactors by 2028. Building on lessons from Project Pele, the program seeks to supply compact reactors capable of generating up to 20 megawatts of electricity, more than 20 times the power of current portable generators. These reactors will be truck or aircraft transportable, require no constant refueling, and support round-the-clock operations in remote or high-demand environments. The Army and the Department of Energy will provide uranium fuel, while private companies like BWXT are expected to own and operate the systems. Analysts note the program could eventually expand beyond defense, potentially powering AI data centers and other energy-intensive infrastructure in the future. NVIDIA GPU demand surging 10-to-1 amid AI revolution. Wedbush. In a nutshell, we are seeing clearly accelerating chip demand in the field for NVIDIA, as we estimate the demand-to-supply ratio from enterprises for NVIDIA's next-generation GPUs are approaching 10-to-1, which is a staggering number, which speaks to how early this AI revolution is in its life cycle, said analysts led by Daniel Ives. Wedbush noted that there are no signs of cracks in the supply chain. In fact, demand is accelerating far faster than expected across Taiwan and the broader region. This sentiment was also reflected by Taiwan Semiconductor Company CEO C.C. Wei. Conviction in the AI megatrend is strengthening, Wei told analysts after outlining earnings. The AI demand actually continues to be very strong, stronger than we thought 3 months ago.
Coinbase launches global stablecoin payments to power cross-border trade. Coinbase Global has launched a stablecoin payment service for businesses, allowing them to send and receive USDC, a dollar-pegged stablecoin, for instant, low-cost cross-border transactions. The platform offers tools like global payouts and payment links, which eliminate chargebacks and simplify vendor payments. USDC balances held in Coinbase business accounts earn 4.1% APY and can be withdrawn anytime via wire or ACH. Businesses can also integrate their transactions with QuickBooks, Xero, or CoinTracker for compliance and accounting ease. Coinbase and Circle Internet Group, the company behind USDC, will split the yield from USDC reserves 50-50, with the new service expected to significantly boost USDC transaction volumes.